Hi, it's Fisher from Sewmate. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to be showing you how to make a pencil skirt. So this is going to be one of the quickest pencil skirt tutorials you have ever seen. We're going to be using our basic skirt block to do this. If you don't have a basic skirt block, I've got a tutorial on how to make one. I'll put a link in the description box and I'll put a link above as well. We're going to be starting with making our front pattern, so get your front skirt block and just trace around it, making sure to mark the dots. Remove your block, square in your hip line, draw in your dot, first mark your hole punch from this point here, go up by 1 centimeter. Put a dot and put a circle. Then come to the hemline, come in by 2.5 centimeters. Put a mark. Now draw a line from this new point to the hip. Cancel this line across so that you know that we don't need it anymore. Marking your hem allowance. Now fold your hem back through this line. And cut around your pattern. So we're following this line here and all around. Now open your pattern and cut through this line as well. So we're going to put a notch here for the hemline and another notch here for the hip. Now we're going to label our pattern. So this is a pencil skirt. Cut 1, unfold. And I'll put my initial. And this is the front pattern. So we finished with the front pattern. We're going to the back now. So with the back, we follow through almost the same steps we did with the front, except that we're going to add a vent at the center back. So just leave yourself enough space for the vent on your pattern paper. Let's do that now. First, we trace around the block as usual. Now get a ruler, square in the hip line. Mark the dots. Then we're also going to mark our sepa allowance at the bottom here to the hip line. So I put 1.5 centimeters. We'll use this when we are drafting our vent. So now we're coming back to the dots. We're going to go up by 1 centimeter to mark in our hole punch. And draw a circle. Moving in from this corner by 2.5 centimeters. Put a mark. Now connect this point to the hip level with a straight line. Cancel this line out. Now we're moving on to making our vent. We need to move up from this seam line by 25 centimeters from the hem. Put a mark on the seam line. Now I'm going to make a vent which is 5 centimeters wide, so I'm just gonna come onto the seam line here and go 5 centimeters out and draw a parallel line. Extend the hemline to that line. So just choose any point on this line to make sure that your vent is a bit slant. I'll just put it here. You don't need to measure this. Since we've got a seam allowance added already on our center back, I'm just gonna add a seam allowance for the top part of the vent and down on the side as well. I'll just use 1 centimeter for all around. Let's do that. Now we're going to square across our hem allowance. Now fold along this line. Now we're going to cut all around our pattern, following this inner line and all around the pattern. Now I'm just gonna put in my grain line parallel to the center back. So now I'm going to label the pencil skirt pattern. So this is my pencil skirt back. And we're cutting 1 pair. And I'll put my initial. Now I'm gonna put some notches around the pattern. So now we're going to be drafting our waistband. We're going to use a straight waistband for this pencil skirt. Get your front and back skirt blocks and measure along the seams, excluding the darts. So you'll be measuring from this point here, zipper allowance, up to the first leg of the dart, and then you jump over and start measuring again from here to the seam line here. Do the same with the front. After measuring your front and back waist seams, grab yourself a pattern paper that's longer than your half waist measurement and add about 10 centimeters to it. For the width, get about twice the width of your waistband and add about 2 centimeters to it. So fold the paper in half. You square a line across from one edge of the pattern paper. Just square a straight line. From this line, put your front waist measurement. Mine is 22.5. 22.5. Put a mark. From this point, measure for your back skirt measurement. Mine is 22.4. Square a straight line across. So this is going to be our center back. This is our center front. From the center back line, move out about 2.5 centimeters for our button extension. Square another line across. Now you can measure for your waistband width along this line and transfer the same amount to all lines and draw a straight line. I prefer to just square a line across, which is just 5 centimeters wide, which is my waistband width. We're going to transfer this notch over to this line here, which is our waistband edge, so it will help us identify the side seam. Now add seam allowances right around the pattern except for the center front because it's going to be on fold. Transfer the notch over again to the edge right there. Now we're going to cut around the pattern. Next, we're going to put in our notches. Open the pattern and just extend these lines. I prefer to put my grain line along the fold line. Now we're going to label our pattern. So this is our waistband. So cut 1, unfold, plus 1, interfacing, unfold as well. And I'll put my initial. So this is finished. When you come to cutting, it depends with you whether you want extensions on both sides. I prefer to cut the right side extension and just be left with one extension on the left side. So it's up to you. So this is it. Our pencil skirt patterns are finished. You can now go ahead and cut your fabrics and sew your pencil skirt. Thank you.